Yes, sir. Here with another episode of Curious Mike. Today we got the one and only Von Miller with me.
Yeah, boy.
Appreciate you being on, my guy.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
You already know. So we're gonna start off in the football space. Obviously, that's where everybody know you from. But like growing up, football is a lot different than basketball. Like you got to be like it's a lot more of a physical sport, and then you play the most physical position.
Yeah, it's one of them. You know, I wouldn't say it's the most physical though, but it's up there though.
So like growing up though, like how did you get into that, and then how did you kind of get to where you at be the player you at today?
Bro, like my earliest memories of like my childhood, right? I remember like I was like 2 years old, and I got in like this little pot in my mom's kitchen, right? It's like this blue pot. And I think that memory is like reinforced because I got like pictures that my mom always showed me and stuff.
Yeah.
But another memory that I had was like my dad, like me hearing my dad scream like for the first time, like, and I ran in the room and I look in the room and he like yelling, like not like in like not like he crying or nothing, like he hurt or nothing, but it's like he was like happy. He was like so happy the Cowboys were on the game. The Cowboys on the TV. And they had just scored or something. He was like going crazy, and I just remember being like a little kid and seeing my daddy like reacting this way, and like that's where it started. Like I want to make my dad like I want to do that. Like I want to whatever they doing on TV. That's what I want to.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's kind of how it was for me. Started early. My pops played hoop basketball, and then he put the ball in my hand 3 years old. Just got rolling from there. You just find a passion for it, and then it just rolled from there. But for you, so it was all that, and then you go to college, get to the league, you doing your thing, become one of the best pretty quick at your position, then end up winning Super Bowl 50 MVP. Talk to me a little bit about that, like when you got in the league and the process to winning that, and then that feeling.
Yeah, honestly, at first, like I always felt like you just have like that belief in yourself, like whatever you put your mind to, you're gonna do it. And I think we all like, have those thoughts, but for me, I never thought that I would be like the number 2 pick or like play for the Denver Broncos or like win a Super Bowl, do all this crazy stuff. I knew like deep down in my heart, like if I worked hard enough and I did all the right things and I went to sleep, like all the stuff that you do like as a kid, like you believe that you can make you believe that you can make the league, and I felt like that, and it just started like played at Texas A&M like my first 2 years. I wasn't like an All-American, nothing crazy, nothing like that. But like my third year, they moved me to this outside linebacker, like rush position, and I just kind of like took off with it. At the same time, I was at Texas A&M, and I was taking easy classes. I mean, my GPA wasn't like, my GPA wasn't like the best, so I had to like take like classes to like help out with my GPA. And one of those classes was meat production, 101, chickens, turkey, and quail. So I took this class, and it was an easy class, and I was like, bro, this is so easy. Like, I don't even have to stay awake, so I used to fall asleep in this class. And my professor, Dr. Farnell, he used to wake me up. He used to wake me up and, like making me go, like, just make me, like, recite, like, everything that we learned in the class today. In turn, it really made me, like, learn, like, the chicken, like, business. Mm-hmm. And that was, like, my backup plan. It was weird. Like, if I make it to the league, I'm going to use the money to start a chicken farm, and I was going to ask you about that later. The chicken farm. I mean, everybody know you for that off the field. How big is that, like, in your life, and how did so you got into it just as a backup plan? It was just one of the, I swear, like, bro, you take a lot of classes, bro, you never expect them, you never expect them bitches to, like, stick like that, but like, when I was learning it at Texas A&M, I was like, bro, all I need is this amount of money and I can do it. They're using like loans to do their stuff. Like if I like play in the league, I can use money to do it this way. And I just started researching. I hooked up with some fellow Aggies as well. Mm-hmm. And we started Greener Pastures Chicken. It's like right outside of Elgin. It's doing well,
Yeah, how big is that? Like as far as, obviously you make your bread on the field, but is that just a passion or is it actually lucrative? Like
I mean, it's both. You wouldn't do it like if it wasn't like, like just
you get the bread.
But it's it's both. It's something that I like. It's kind of like football for me off the field. Like I like had this vision and I just attacked it, and it just became what it is. We're not like Tyson or like Sanderson Farms or like Butterball like that, but that's my dream. Yeah. One day is to create an operation like those guys.
That's dope.
A pasture raised a pasture-raised, fully organic, humanely raised product. Because I feel like that's the main certification on some of this stuff. Because people want to know like where their food comes from, and I have a humanely raised product.
So you take care of your, like, you all about that as far as organic, raised the right way.
Yeah. They only have one bad day. You know, every day is good, and then they just
You gotta plug me with some of the chicken.
Yeah, for sure, man. I send it to you.
Cause I was grown up, like I grew up vegetarian my whole life. Then I got to the league, I was too skinny, so they made me start eating some chicken, some salmon. So I only eat like the healthy chicken. So yeah, you definitely got to plug me then.
Yeah, bro, I got you, bro. You was vegetarian your whole life?
I grew up vegetarian all the way until I got to the NBA.
I thought it was like a new thing, like
Nah, our parents, my mom and dad raised all of us that way. We was homeschooled, vegetarian, like all that. Like before it was a really, like it's more of a popular thing now. We were doing that. To eat healthy, you know this, you really got to have a chef or someone that's doing it for you. Because like a lot of these restaurants that say they're healthy, they're really not that healthy. So we probably weren't doing it the best way, but we was trying, we was vegetarian.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, when you think about it, I just had a son, and like I was doing like this study like on what like kids eat, because I wanted Val to be just like the biggest, like, you know, strongest like baby ever.
Yeah.
And you start doing your research, and it's like the first year to like year and a half, like they breastfed, like that's it. And you might supplement it with some other stuff, but they don't start off like wanting meat or like needing meat. And if you just, you know, stay in that lane, like I can see like how somebody could be, you know, vegetarian their whole life. Yeah,
you definitely got to do it the right way though. So yeah, you just mentioned your son. Talk about that. Is he like, how old is he? And then, because we was going to talk about that too. Has it changed your perspective at all on life and what you really prioritize or value?
You know, people always say that, but I think like, you know, I've been a dad for like a while now. Like I'm 11 years, you know, in the National Football League, so I got a shitload of sons everywhere. No. But I just always, I'm an older brother, you know, and my dad and my mom, like they just been in my life since like day when I had great examples on how to be like a father, I would say, like just kicking it with like my dad and like some of the stuff that he did with me. I was like, man, I can't wait to like, you know, do this with my son. Some of the things that I learned like from my dad, some of the advice that I got, like I always had him like in every single, which is like, you know, it's a true blessing now, me thinking about my dad. But, you know, yeah, just by having my dad like with me through like every single decision that I ever had like to make in my life, you know, I always wanted to like have a son and do that same thing. And I remember when I had him, I talked to him and I said, hey, like, so what makes you a great dad? Like, he was like, he said, it's so many different things that make you a great dad. Okay, I was like, so what makes you a bad dad? And he was like, it's just a few things that make you a bad dad. It's all type of ways that you can parent. It's all type of ways that you can, you know, be in your kid life. And, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to play golf. You know, that's really the only thing that I'm going to force on him.
Yeah.
Anything else, you know,
What did he say, though, about being a bad dad? What's the ways you can
You know,
do
like,
that?
it's all different ways to be a bad dad. Like, you can influence your son to do things. I feel like I just want to give the best in me because nobody's perfect. You know, I just want to give the best in me to my son and just let him create his own, like, you know, lane. You know, but I'm excited about it. Like, all this summer, like before he got here, I was working on his nursery. I was all on Pinterest, like just trying to find like little things. It was crazy. You know, you never use the word cute, but like when you got like a kid, like it's just the word it's just the word that you use. It's just the word that like, you know, it's all over the place. And I got like some dope stuff for him in his nursery. I want it to be like a cowboy vibe because I feel like Valor is like, you know, like a cowboy like type name. But you know, he's 5 weeks old, man, and I'm excited, man. Every single day he does something new, something different.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, you and your dad, like everybody see how close y'all are, joking around and everything. That's dope. That's how I'm with my dad. Like he's one of my best friends. And the relationship changes as you get older. Were y'all always close like that, or kind of what made y'all get close like that?
You know, growing up, I thought my dad was like mean. I was like, damn, my daddy mean. I got my little brother over there. And I was like, damn, my daddy mean. Like, why he so strict? Like, you know, like other kids doing this and like other kids like doing that, and you see like other people doing this. And it's not till like you get older that you like appreciate all the things like that your dad like made you do, like being a senior in high school and having to come in at like 12 and like, you know, having the curfew and like, just learning like tough like lessons growing up, like don't lie to them, don't do this, getting whoopings and like just trying to figure it out. Like I really appreciate, all that stuff that my dad like did for me. My dad and my mom, because my mom, she's a soldier too. My mom, she's never missed, anything that I ever participated in, from like track meet to my basketball games. I had hoop dreams at first.
You hoop?
And
I was going to ask you about that. I actually was going to
hoop
ask.
dreams at first, but like they didn't give me enough fouls. Like I was just, I
Nah.
was just too physical, bro.
My question for you was going to be, would you think it'd be harder to go from the NFL to the NBA or from the NBA to the NFL? No bias.
Man, it's two different body types, bro. Like if you get like the right body type, both can play. Like you gotta at least be like 6'4", 6'5". Like I always think like Gronkowski could play like both.
Yeah.
Justin Simmons, like I feel like he could play both. He could be like a point guard and a safety in the league.
Who's some hoopers that could
I think
play
LeBron
football?
James could definitely. LeBron could definitely play both.
Zion, probably.
I think Russell. Yeah, Zion, Russell, Westbrook. He could definitely play both. Most of these point guards, like I think, like John Wall, he could play like both. Most of these point guards, they got like, these aggressive mindsets, and and then at the same time, not like being a great football player, like probably like being a great basketball player. It's not all about like just brute strength and like going crazy. Sometimes you gotta be smart, and you gotta be able to like outwork your guy. So if you have like some of those things, which is a lot of basketball players that have that type of mindset, you can play both.
Right. So
all you need is an arm, really, though, and you can play like any body type can play quarterback.
Right.
You can be 6'6"
or kicker or something.
or kicker. No, you don't want to be no kicker. I know some good kickers though, like
elite.
Brandon McManus. That's my boy. Like that's my favorite. That's my favorite kicker. But you don't want to be no kicker. Brandon's different because he's 6'4", 210 pounds. He can dunk. He can play basketball. He can throw the ball. Like he's fast. He's not too fast, but. He's fast and he can, he's smart. He can do all type of shit. So I think Brandon McManus could play both too.
That's dope.
Well, you think any football players can play both? Like in your mindset?
Shoot, I don't know, cause you see some football players step on the court, they look crazy.
It's crazy. That's how I am. That's me.
They look
That's me.
crazy, dog. Like I would never play pickup with a football player, cause they gonna hurt you.
That's me. It's just too. I'm just too fast. I think really that was like younger. I didn't like play it like from day one. Like it was something like at my school, in my high school, like I had braids like AI, like cornrows.
Oh, for real?
Like AI, that was like my guy. Like I wanted to be like AI, me and my little brother. So I wanted to, be like AI, and I had braids, but there was a rule in my school district that if you had braids, you couldn't play basketball. So it kind of like pushed I was playing street basketball the whole time, but it kind of pushed like my real like basketball development all the way to like my 9th grade year.
That's weird. I ain't never heard that rule.
If it was cool, like I could have played both, like since day one, and who knows what would happen. But it ain't like that.
You ended up cool.
I ended up being Von Miller, chicken farmer.
Man, so recently you like the last couple years, you obviously we're getting back to it now, but you faced some adversity. I know all about injuries, and you went through some similar over the last little bit. Talk about that. Like, how did it happen? How did you get hurt? And then what was your mindset, through the rehab and getting back? Are you like cautious at all now, or you feel good? Like,
man, I just feel like injuries are just like part of the game.
Yeah.
If you look at any great player in the history of any sport, they had to overcome some injury at some point in time. We play a sport, like our body's not designed to like run around and like dunk. Even though you get these guys like you that's like can jump from the free throw line and dunk, but like our body's not like designed like that. So if you're moving fast and it's you can't really predict everything that's going on. Like injuries happen. It's just really the way you respond.
Yeah.
I've had three like big injuries. Really, my thumb, it wasn't really bad. But if you play football, like not having your thumb is tough. But I had an ACL 2013, and I tore my retinaculum in my it holds down like the peroneal tendon, like on your ankle. It wasn't like an Achilles or anything like that. But I still needed surgery, and I wasn't able to like get back. So it was a serious injury. It wasn't like a serious surgery, but it was like a serious injury. And really, your mindset, you got to respond, bro. Like, I think what makes us great football players or great athletes or great basketball players is our ability to respond. You play against somebody that's, that can move faster and dunk, whatever. Like, you figure it out, and you rely on your skill set. And that's the same thing. That's the same mindset that you have whenever you're going through the recovery process.
That's dope. Man, my last football questions for you. You got to tell me your top 3 QBs, like the ones you hate playing against, and then you got to name your top 5 defenders right now in the league.
Top 5 QBs, I mean, like, right off top, you got to say, like, Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning, you got Aaron Rodgers. You got so many different quarterbacks that, one of the great stuff. I love Dak. Dak Prescott is one of my favorite quarterbacks. But, top quarterbacks right now, you got to go with winning first. Like, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, these guys win.
Yeah, they win.
And so those would be, like, the top 3 quarterbacks that I've played, like, all the time. That I didn't play against Peyton, but I was around him every single day, and I saw the way he attack defenses. I wouldn't want to play against him. But
It's just so crazy about that. I actually just talked to Peyton yesterday. He was up at the arena last night.
That's cool.
Shooting with his kids, and I hollered at him for like 30 minutes, talking about what made him different, like how did he separate himself, as far as being one of the greats. So that's crazy because he was cold. I grew up in Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, that's
cold.
dope. That's dope. Yeah, Peyton. He, I was with him for 4 years, and like, that's one of my favorite teammates, favorite players ever. I went to his Hall of Fame, like his Hall of Fame ceremony, and I went to Champ Bailey's Hall of Fame ceremony too. So this is my second one, but this was my first like after party at like the Hall of Fame because Coach Fangio let us stay like a whole day and the next night out there. But really just being around Peyton and just seeing all the people that he's influenced, that like being at the party. Like seeing all these people that helped him become who he is and everybody that was there to like see him and like support him, going to the Hall of Fame, it was like, it was incredible, man. Like it definitely motivated me to like, want to do the same thing like for me. And it really, it helped me believe like, I saw Peyton Manning do it like every single day. And that's the type of player that you have to be to make it there. So
sure, you on your way, fam.
It's great, man. I'm trying, man. It's 11 years in. To everybody say, bro, I know you had a vets come in and say, man, it go by fast. Like, it go by fast. It really does. And this is my 11th year in. I started playing golf, like, recently, and one of the sayings that we have in golf is don't forget to look up. Because you have some of these dope golf courses. You could be at Pebble Beach, like Shadow Creek, Colorado Golf Club here in Colorado is dope. And you kind of forget to, like, look up. You so in emotion of, like, putting and driving and, you're upset about the hit before, you're happy about the hit before that you're just really thinking about golf. And you don't really, you forget to look up. And this being my 11th year, like I'm looking up, like being in Denver, being able to be in a city like this, like going to the Nuggets game, fucking with y'all, like hunting and fishing and golfing and being able to do all the things that make Denver, what it is, man, has been amazing.
The balance for sure.
What year is this for you? This is
my 3rd year.
It's your 3rd year?
This is my 4th year, but I was injured my 1st year. So
you like Denver like that? I know.
Nah, Denver perfect for me because I don't know about you, but I mean I know you like to get it in, but I like.
What you mean?
Well, I was at your Halloween party. I was up there, but I love it because it's like chill. Like you can have fun, but you could also chill if you want to.
Yeah.
So that's why it's perfect for me. I'm about to move though. I ain't got no security around here.
Yeah,
got robbed twice, boy.
Here?
They just got in my garage, but
here you gotta get like some gated, man. You got it when they know where you live, man. It'd be different,
Yeah. So, but you're talking about that, like looking up. I know. Obviously, you've influenced a lot of people football wise. A lot of kids. You're an inspiration. But outside of football, like as you get older, you have a kid. What do you kind of view as your purpose in life?
For him, I just want to support him. Like my dad supported me. My dad never made me like play football. My dad never made me like, really do anything but go to school and like do my homework and try to be the best student academically that I possibly can be. He never really made me or forced me to do anything. And I just want to do the same thing for him. I just want to support him. I want to be his biggest support system in anything that he does. He could be, a candle maker. I just support him in that. If he wanted to do filming or acting, like I want to support him in whatever he does, just like my dad did for me.
Yeah, that's dope.
I feel like that's one of my biggest purposes in life. I just, you want to be a light. You want to be a light around people. You want to influence people. Sometimes you get around people with different energies, and you can just feel it like right off top. You never want to be that guy. Just want to, influence and, be a light to, everybody that I fuck with.
Shoot, I mean, everybody I have on here is like, it's because I respect them. And, we've linked up a couple times, seen you a couple times, but everybody around here who I've talked to is always like, man, Von's the dopest dude ever. Like, you got to get him on there. He's
for sure,
so much more than a football player. So
I appreciate that.
That's dope. Yeah. Shoot, 2 more questions for you, and then we'll call it a wrap.
I got you, fam.
So what's your favorite thing about you? And then what's your least favorite thing about you? If you could name those 2.
My favorite thing about me is like you could put me in really any room and like I feel like I could relate to somebody in there. Or like I never really feel like out of my element, no matter where I go, no matter who I'm around. I always feel like that socially, like I can fuck with everybody, like not like you want to fuck with everybody, but I feel like that's one of my greatest things, just to be able to talk to, anybody. Sometimes, sometimes the energy don't be right for like, you to like talk to just anybody. But like if you put me like at a house party or something, like man, like or like, I know like I'm gonna have a son. I go to PTA meetings now. Like you put anything like that, like I'm gonna kill it, and I feel like that's one of the best things about like in the locker room, like. I feel like that's one of the greatest things about me. A brother, being a son. Like I feel like those are some of the greatest things because I'm a team guy, and I always want to see like the people around me like win or succeed, and I'm gonna try to help them and try to assist them in doing that. And I feel like that's one of my greatest things. Is I'm a great teammate. You can put me in any room, and I'm socially able to make it happen. I feel like, one of the things about me that I don't like, I probably wish. I really, I love myself.
On me, that's what
There's a couple of tattoos. There's a couple of tattoos that, there's a couple of tattoos that, like, I feel like I could.
He said, "That's it.
No,
that's all he on."
No, if I could change something, though, like I wish, like I had like long, like hair, like like, and I could sing. Like if I had like hair and I could like sing, and I was the same Von, like right now, like the same Von I am today, but I had like real long hair and I could sing. I like
you be the total package.
Yeah, but that's if you're thinking about it, that's probably.
I already know it.
I'm good,
that's fun. Now I asked that. Someone asked me that question the other day. That's why I asked it to you. It took me a minute to figure it out too. Shoot, last question for you, dog. Just about the world. There's so much going on right now in the world. If you could. One of your purposes is to influence. If you could change one thing or help in one way with everything going on in the world, what would you change about what the state of the world right now?
Man, there's so many serious things that's going on in the world right now. Like, if you think about it, it's 2021, and we got like global warming, like all type of stuff, and we got racism. Like, those are like 2 of the craziest things. Like. In the world right now, if you think about like just global problems, right? Like global warming, we slowly baking ourselves. We slowly like destroying the planet, and we got all of this other technology. We doing all of these other things crazy. Like we got cell phones. We can't figure out like global warming or try to find some sustainable like resources. We using gasoline and fossil fuels, and we still using them. It's 2021. It's all type of problems in that area too, and like with racism, it's just like it's the weirdest thing, like it's just as serious. It's a global problem, just like global warming, bro. Like you don't like somebody because like the color of like their skin or like where they from or like you judge them or like you stereotype them off top. Like it's. Instead of like, really like learning and like, trying to figure people out just off top, like you see them and you like profile them like off top, that's like, ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Both of those things are like, out of all the things that our world is like dealing with, like those are like 2 things that like, just like blow my mind. Like,
have you experienced a lot of racism?
I have experienced racism, but I wouldn't say like I experienced it a lot. Like, not that probably like that I don't see, like I guess I'm so in like my bubble and like what I'm doing, like I on a personal level, like you know, I see it I see it, you know, you see it on TV. I'm aware of it. It's happened to me like a couple of times. Like you go overseas and like people don't like, you're not like the same like Von Miller, like, you know, like what is football? You know,
They just like a black dude.
like, you know, some people know you, but some people just like are totally like oblivious. And like you go over there and you just, you know, you a regular guy and you experience, you know, things that normal, like, you know, people that's not like entertainers or like sport athletes, because, you know, people, they treat you different. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you just a regular guy and you're able to experience it and you're able to relate on like some of the serious things that's, you know, really happening in the world, man. And like racism and global warming is two of the craziest things that
You
I
like
feel like I
doing
can
it?
change.
You like going overseas and kind of trying to become like a regular person for a little bit, blend in for a little bit?
I love traveling, bro. I love going overseas, bro. Especially like Europe. I went to we went on tour with Drake in 2000 and I think it was like 2017. The beginning of 2017, bro, and we were there for like probably like the end of February until like April, bro. Like
For real?
yeah, for like it was like 35, 40 nights.
That's dope.
And we went to the show. We went to the same show because it's the same exact show, because, you know, they might change like one or two things, but it's still like the same like lineup. And I probably went to like 18 or 19 shows.
Was it that little baby one, the one that had the yellow Lambo?
No, that was the American tour. This was the Boy Meets the World tour, where he went to like Amsterdam, Paris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he had the first tour with you know, with the Migos, and they had like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
floor,
yeah.
and that was an American tour. And then a year later they did it. But instead of taking the Migos, he took Young Thug, and he had like some Europe, like some like gigs and like some local, you know, like European, like London rappers, English rappers. And he would have them open up for him and stuff. But we went to like Germany and went to all these different places like Amsterdam, Ireland. You know, and you experiencing like you going on tour like with him, so you get to see it like
Yeah.
in a different light, bro. It was amazing. It's really one of the top moments of my life. But at the same time, I was able to experience like some of these things that you wouldn't normally experience,
Right.
like racism and, you know, all that type of stuff. Yeah.
Shoot, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. We covered
appreciate
some
you,
dope
fam.
topics.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, bro, for sure.
We out.